Oh yeah, she's that country girl who overcame the stigma that Southern women are barefoot, backwoods, and backwards. Now she's an articulate voice for conservative values and wisdom in America. Sitting on her front porch, sharing common sense, here's Marnie.
Hi, today I want to talk with you about something that dovetails off of yesterday. Yesterday we talked about how everything is best governed at the lowest level that it can possibly be governed effectively. You know, a teacher does a better job of governing a classroom than somebody in Washington, D.C. Or the mayor of a town does a better job of governing that town than somebody at the state level, federal level, or global level. As I talked about this, my dad called me up and he said, hey, you need to talk about the most basic governing body in society, and that is the family. The family is the pivotal front line of defense against tyranny. And if you look at the powers that be that want to take things up to a higher level of governing, there are people who want to take it to the national level, even global level. Every decision made at these high levels, thinking that this high level knows best, they want to destroy the family. That's one of their main objectives. If you look at the writings of Karl Marx, for example, he wanted to destroy the family because the family is the most fundamental governing unit of society. And when you have strong families, you have strong communities, strong states, and nations as a whole when you have strong families. If you destroy the family and the family's not able to do what it's designed to do, individuals are not taught to govern themselves. If you have absentee parents or, not enough parents in the home to teach and instruct children on how to behave, how to function in society, then, kids are just taught by anybody, around them, and may not always be the best influences that are impacting them in their lives. So the objective I've always felt as a parent is to teach my children to be independent, to govern themselves, to take care of themselves. If I've done that, I feel like I've succeeded as a parent. And me personally, I know I've made a lot of mistakes over the years of raising 6 kids. You make a lot of mistakes. But there's one thing I can say about my kids is they are independent and they take care of themselves. And that is something that I feel like is a success. So if we can do that, if we can have strong families that teach the children how to govern themselves, how to go by correct principles, how to be good, moral, upstanding people, we are creating a bedrock of society that protects us against the need for government intervention. You're going to have some kids that go off the rails. Even the best of parents can have kids that end up in jail for this or that. So I'm not talking about that. But overall, if you can teach children how to behave in society, you need less government controls. You don't need as much of a police force. You don't need top-down enforcement if you've got people who know how to govern themselves. Think about that whenever there's laws made. The family unit knows best about that family. And most families, by and large, there are some not so great families, of course, and every family has a little dysfunction in it. But overall, most families have the concern of that family at heart. They're trying to do the best they can for that family. But people higher up the chain, they don't know the needs of your family. I'll give you an example. I said I had 6 kids. There's not 2 of them that are alike. They're all different. And with different kids, I had to handle them differently. Some kids needed more hand-holding. Others needed me to back off and kind of give them a little space and learn to handle freedom and make some mistakes and learn from those mistakes. And other kids are just internally, they're just going to do the right thing. They don't have any desire to do anything that maybe another one did. The way I govern that family as a parent is going to be different based on each child. And the rules and things that I might have in my family might not work for your family. I've got a good friend that has twins, a little boy and girl twins, and the way she's going to govern that family is going to be different than the way I did with my 6 kids. So having somebody come in and top down and tell parents how to to raise their kids or what ought to happen in the home. The whole sex education stuff that's going on in the school systems. You've got schools teaching children what really should be taught in the home. Those are things that each parent knows how they're going to handle it. When I talk to my kids about the birds and the bees, I taught them each one a little differently because I knew that child and how they were going to react, or that this one might think, oh, that's weird or whatever, and their reactions ran the spectrum. You had to cater that knowledge to the individual child. So when you have it just being fed to people in a classroom and fed the most broad, liberal forms of sex education in a classroom, you're doing damage. You're doing damage, and you may not realize it, but each child is different and needs to have things explained to them differently. And so that's a decision, for example, that should be handled at the family level. The challenge that we have in our society is that the family is being destroyed. You don't have two-parent homes, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I've been a single parent myself, but you don't have parents in the home. They're out working a lot, and they're being, there's latchkey kids, or there's kids that are just, running in gangs, and, the destruction of the family is rampant, and it's causing most of the problems. I dare say most of the problems that we have in the U.S. today are caused by the destruction of the family. So if anything needs to be done, is we need to start bolstering the family. Anything we can do to protect the family, preserve the family, strengthen the family, educate the family on how to raise good, independent, moral individuals, that is the best thing we can do in this country to preserve freedom. Let's protect the family. This is probably going to come up a lot in my episodes on the way they're attacking the family and things like that. But for today, that's what I want to just lay the foundation of, is that the family is the most pivotal frontline defense we have against tyranny, because it teaches us personal responsibility. And without personal responsibility, you cannot have a free society for long. Take care. God bless.